So we're getting down to the wire here. Pretty much everything laid out here. Got my shim pack that I measured earlier. Got the Kingpin. I've pretty much wiped everything out and stuff like that. I think I pretty much have everything set here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze out a little grease there because I want to lube the stuff up. I want to make sure there's a film of grease on everything as it goes together here. So let's I'm going to do it on my pinky because I know the my other fingers are too fat to go in there. So hopefully the camera can keep up with the focus and stuff like that. So anyway, okay, now I'm also going to my least favorite thing about working with cars, grease. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and basically right here, I want to, the bearing's going to be on there. Most of this should basically push out of the way. The biggest reason, these aren't painted, okay? So I'm just going to make sure that I have a thin layer of grease around the that area as well. It shouldn't be so much a matter of lubrication as just corrosion control kind of thing. So put a thin film around there. Put a film around here. Because you know the thing is from the factory, these areas weren't painted either. So they didn't paint them and then clean the paint off kind of thing. They painted them after they were assembled, or just didn't paint them at all. Surface rust is actually a great corrosion protection. Once it gets surface rust, it doesn't rust too heavily after that, or it takes a ton to get it to rust. So, all right, so let's get our pin smeared with a little grease here. Now I pretty much had everything oriented so it was top. So that's facing up. That's the top of the spindle there. So I'm going to get the Kingpin started, and I'm going to get the flat facing toward the back there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my shim pack together, put my bearing, and hopefully that's coming through and you can see that okay. I have it, it's down below the area there, so it's not, the pin's not sticking up. Okay, so I'm just going to wiggle this in there, try to get it fairly close, and this way I can look down at what I'm doing and put a little pressure on the Kingpin there. Okay, so that's started. Now it's a matter of doing a little more wiggling here. I've got let me grab my plastic hammer. I don't really want to smack on it too hard. There we go. Just a little persuasion there. Let's see if I can see the flat. No, I cannot. Ooh. Okay. See how tight that is? I think I need to pull one of the shims out. I think actually what's going on here is the metal on metal is binding here, so I might just go ahead and put a couple of those shims up on the top here. Let's do that. So I already put my wooden dowel away, so let's get it back out. I'm back here. So that just came out. There's the shim pack. I'm going to take these two. Now, since they're going up where they're going to twist and everything like that, I'm going to go ahead and throw some grease on them here individually, if I can get the darn things. Come on. There we go. Okay. Let's smear some grease on each one of them. There we go. Now this is going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get that back up in there, basically, because the putting the shim in between the two in there, that's just not fun. Okay, got the top and bottom oriented okay. I'm trying to keep the shims oriented fairly close to where I want them while I put that in there. Okay, let's wiggle it around, get the kingpin up. Okay, now I can see down inside here the shims. Okay, so I'm going to push them around until it looks like they're centered. A little wiggling, that got them to move, and the kingpin went right in. Of course, you know, the one thing I didn't pay attention to was the which way the flat spot is on the kingpin. So probably a good idea, now that I think about it, would be to put a mark, you know, a little file mark or something up there on the top of the kingpin, so that way you would have you could eyeball it and get an idea of the orientation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to let's pull it out the top here a little bit. Oops. I don't want to go so far that I lose my... Okay. So I can see the flat in the hole there, the grease fitting hole. So there we go. Okay. That allowed me to spin it to get it fairly close to orientation. And now I see it in there. Let's okay, pin goes in from this side, so I want to make sure that that flat spot is more or less flush with that side of the hole there. Okay, I'm about running out of time and running out of battery too. So anyway, I made sure it's flush there, so that way when this goes in, okay, it can engage in that instead of the flat spot being at an angle where the, you know, the ramp on the bolt there smacks it, so runs into it. So let's okay, I need to give that a little turn, make sure I got it in there flat, and actually what I'm going to do is pop it back out of there for a second, because I want to make sure that yeah, okay, see, there we go. The kingpin needs to be pushed back up just a bit. Alright, what happened there in the end of the other one was the slot on the kingpin was down a little bit too far. So once I realized it wasn't seating in nice and sweet. I popped it back out, I looked down in the hole, tapped the Kingpin back that way a little bit, got the sweet spot, and then it just went right in. So since that is on, I can now put the lock washer and the nut, and this is metric, it's M8 by 150, and okay. I'm not cranking on it super tight. I definitely want to make sure it's tight enough that the lock washer, you know, is engaged basically. And I want to make sure it's pulled in nice and tight. All right, we got no, we still have, oh, interesting. It probably cleared before. Okay, what's going on here? And since I cleaned up, I don't have my stuff laying around here. Basically, this edge right here is catching on the flat under here, the machined edge. So when they put it together from the factory, obviously they had, because they clearanced this right here, so obviously they had the shims up on top from the factory. So then the question is do I want to take the thing apart or just try to grind that? I don't really want to grind it with all that grease there and end up putting, you know, crap right back into my... Wow. That got locked in there pretty good. Well, these lock bolts are pretty easy to get, but I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt back down there. I'm going to leave just a little gotta love this, huh? No, don't. Okay, that's too big. There we go, that's just right. Alright, this is something Wayne always talks about. Basically, you put the nut on it, and now the nut acts as a guide for my, I guess I'll do it this way since I can't see it through my hand. That acts as a guide so you don't slip off and stuff like that, and it helps to keep from mushrooming the threads off on the side, especially if you were to hit it with a hammer. A lot of people don't hit flat with a hammer, they hit at an angle. That'll screw up the threads too. So this way, the nut holds my punch, my drift, right on top, gets it nice and square, and now I can hammer on it without too much worry of messing it up. Plus, too, you still have a couple of threads there, so that if it does mess up just a little bit, you can clean them up a little bit while you're pulling the nut back off. So, let's see here. Yay, we're still recording. Okay, so the lock bolt's out. Yep, still binds up there. Now, the choice is to put the shims up on top, which I'm not too big of a fan of. I can also move those shims back down here now that I know that it's a clearance problem up here. So I'm going to go ahead and I can hit on this with a metal hammer, that doesn't matter. I'm just going to tap it out there. Alright, start sliding out there toward the end. Alright. Let's take that out, take that. Let's get the shims off the top there. Basically, I'm going to have to I'm going to go over to the grinder there and just grind this this lip down here just a little bit to get the added clearance. Whoa! pay attention to what you're grabbing onto. Because it is, if that's in the frame, that's grinding right in here. Oh. Yep. You can see a little shiny spot there, maybe. If it even matters, anyone cares, anything like that. So, all right, I'm gonna shut it off because I'm gonna have to hit it with a grinder and then clean this up, clean the debris off, that kind of stuff, put a little grease back on it, and get back to where I was. Okay, back to where I ended on the other one. Got the pin back in, and now we have full range of motion here. Okay, we're hitting on the steering stop on this side, and we're hitting here. Once the grease fittings are in, it will actually hit on the grease fittings. So let's go ahead and there we go. So let's go ahead and put this back in. Tighten it back down. Oh, okay. And something I forgot to do and mention on the first time putting the pin in is I put grease on that pin as well, okay, just to act as an anti-seize, to make it easier to get back out down the road if that was required. So let's that looks pretty decent. I've already gone through and put all of these grease fittings in the grease gun and squirted grease through them to make sure that I blew out any of the old crap and chunky grease and that kind of stuff. Talked about that before. Don't want to push old grease right into a fresh set of bushings. Certainly not the way this grease was waxy and everything like that, and who knows what kind of dirt and abrasive and all that stuff was in there from after all the years. Okay, these are just pretty snug. The threads are actually tapered, so they go down to a point and they bind up just like a pipe fitting or a pipe thread. Okay, got the Kingpin locked, got the grease fittings in, stuff like that. Need to put the end caps on. Now on this particular spindle, I've already gone through and ground all of those. So let's get this. Whoops, a little on the abrupt side. Okay, so let's see how the cap goes in now. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful, huh? Nice. In one of the other videos, I basically had to take a nail set and pound it down to put the pressure right where it was needed. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tap in these spots that already have the stake in it to start with, and we're going to see if it'll maybe stake a little more. And yes, it did. So, now that one's ground off and a little thin to win there, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put a extra one over here. Okay, I see that's pooched out. Alright, and let's put another one over here. And there, okay. Basically, you know, actually, let's go ahead and finish up with one over here too. Okay, what I'm trying to do is to get it sit down there nice and tight, because when I did the other one, where the metal was torn by the stake mark, I had to hammer it past. The cap will stay in, but when I went to grease it, the grease started squirting out of that hole. So definitely want to clean those up first and put that cap in to where it has this nice clean edge all the way around it. So let's flip it over and see if we get lucky on the bottom too, because the better it, the cleaner that edge is, the better it'll seal down there, and the better it will hold the grease in without it leaking past. So there we go. Just want to make sure I got it down in there good and tight. And I'm going to put one on either side here because there's really not much metal there left from where I ground the others off. Okay, now let's see here. Okay, when I tapped it in, I could hear it kind of vibrate a little bit, telling me it was loose once it got in there flat. So I was just kind of checking to make sure that it was not loose. Beautiful. Let's see. Let's get the grease gun. Let's make sure we're still. Let's back that out just a bit. Okay. What I'm kind of hoping now is part of the reason why I want to do it on the same video here is I want to squeeze some grease in here. I want to see it squeeze out. Nice. I want to see it squeeze out from the bottom. Oh, yeah, see that? That's squeezing out the top there. Probably pretty typical, but let's... I want to see if maybe staking it down a little harder might help keep that grease from popping out. So only one way to find out, and that's to try it. Okay, it's still coming out there, but I see a nice even layer squeezing out all the way around. That's beautiful. That's even nicer than the other one. So that's what I want to see. So let's try the bottom one here. And I guess actually we can... Well, we'll see if we can get away with this. Where are we at here? Okay, I'm hoping to see grease squeeze out of the bottom here. And my wife's off work. So that's the end of this one.